Welcome to r/RedditRevenge. This is a story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wronged. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. The first story, boss wanted us to pay for the work uniform. The second story, dirty landlords got their trash back. The third story, I asked for my money back. They told me to get screwed. I then called the feds about something they were trying to hide. They went out of business. And the first story is, try to pin me for illegal deductions? That's a paddling. This occurred about 3 years ago. I shut down my framing company to pursue a job as a site supervisor for the development I had been building in. Started with the builder after I had built the last house and managed to get 3 out of 4 of my guys a job with the builder so they wouldn't be affected by my decision. The fourth guy was a piece of SH, who I never fired because his work ethic was awesome, but had a terrible attitude, bad habits, and was wildly hated by the rest of the crew. He was only there because he made me money. Sorry. First couple months go well. My 3 guys have settled into doing more than just framing, though they were not enthused about certain tasks. But who really likes working in a muddy hole or highly physical labor tasks? My guys were always dirty, always wore SH clothes to work, as did I. Who wants to destroy a nice pair of jeans or a new clean white t-shirt by getting them stained or torn? So our professional look left a little to be desired. After a while, the owner thought our mishmash of a crew needed some cleaning up. I've always subscribed to the analogy, gotta crack an egg to make an omelet, so I wasn't personally concerned about our outward appearances. Our work should speak for itself. I'd save the builder $9 per square foot, per house, and I could see he was happy about that. Under my direction, the rest of the trades had increased the quality without any incurred cost, and our houses just looked better than competitors during construction. I got called into a meeting halfway through the week, and the owner says, "I'm tired of you guys looking like no one owns you. Your work attire should reflect the quality of homes we're building. Here's a bunch of uniforms, enough so everyone has one to wear every day, and an extra in case you work Saturdays." I say, "Hey boss man, that's a great idea. It'll make my guys feel more included and happier. You've even embroidered their names on everything. That's super cool." My guys were ecstatic. New shirts, pants, steel-toed boots and steel-toed cold-weather rubber boots, jackets, hard hats, high-vis vests, you name it. All name-brand high-quality stuff, supplied by the company. It was Christmas in July. Until they got their paycheck. Each guy, including me, was deducted $13.57 for uniforms. My lowest-paid guy at $15 an hour owed the company money. Next guy made $3.16. Highest paid guy, a cool $57. Me? Well, I received a check less my uniform deduction for a little over $2,500. I made more money building for him than I did managing his site. I was effing furious. This is where the revenge comes in. I paid my guys for their deducted wage and then did some research. Guess what? Where I'm from, if you require an employee to wear a certain uniform, you cannot pass that cost off to the employee. It's to be supplied free of charge to the worker. This was also around the time I'd been using my personal accounts at suppliers for odds and ends. I called for a meeting, printed out the Labor Standards Act, highlighting the pertinent areas, and explained to the boss not only was it illegal, what they did almost cost my guys their homes. If I hadn't stepped up, they would have been evicted. Child support wouldn't have been paid, and it could have been a lot worse. My boss took this all in and said, "It's not mandatory. That's why you guys have to foot the bill." I said, "Okay, boss man, my guys can't afford to drop $13.57 on work clothes, so I'll have everything returned. Most of it's never been worn. You can return what's still new. I'll pay the difference." We all went back to work, wearing our torn jeans, ripped shirts, and stained jackets. Problem solved, right? Nope. I was fired 2 days later. Since they were my guys, that meant them too. So rather than tell the guys what happened, I told them to roll up all my tools and anything I had paid for. Take Friday off, and I'll let everyone know what's going on over the weekend. Started back up framing that Monday for the competing builder. But that's not where it ends. I filed a complaint with labor standards, filed a builder's lien on the 15 properties I'd been managing for unpaid expenses, and waited. When he refused to acknowledge any claim against him, I escalated to a lien on his personal home. I had done $25,000 worth of work to his home, which was to be paid after the sale, plus an extra 10% for waiting. That really got his attention, as his house was sold pending the closing of the buyer's own property. That lien made it so he can't sell without paying me out first. I ignored all calls, except from his lawyer, and he essentially shut down business, and blames me for doing so. My guess is he told one of his office ladies to place the order, without actually knowing the full cost, which led to sticker shock. Our local building supplier gives all of its employees and clients monogram jackets. I have 2 different ones in fact, so it's not that unusual in this industry to receive free clothing, as it's one of the best gifts you can get when you work outside all year. Toques in the winter, jackets in the fall, t-shirts and high-vis vests in the spring and summer. It's a nice perk. Long story short, I got my money, but to this day refuses $25,000 for payment, as it lacks the 10% plus 3% per month late charge. I did do work on his house, $25,000 for a decorative timber trellis, pergola, massive new deck, and gazebo over the hot tub. Still owes me money for all that. He could sell his house, but he refuses to pay me out. Owes me about $56,000. I'm enjoying watching him squirm, knowing that his profit margin is shrinking. No one wants to buy his house because when you do a lien search, it shows up. He's gonna cave. We both know it. F that guy. The second story is, scum tenants try and skip town, leaving all their SH behind. About 10 years ago, my parents decided to rent their shack, summer home, out to long-term tenants, as we weren't using it much. It was a nice house, and they had put in a lot of time and effort to make it as good as their main home. Backstory: the area was nice with a mix of shackles and permanent residents. We had water views, a short walk to the beach, and about an hour's drive to the CBD. The family they got in seemed okay. The dad had a job, and mom was on DSP, as their circa 7-year-old daughter was mentally disabled. After about 6 months, they started getting behind, paying rent late, and were letting the place get all tatty. My mom wasn't impressed, and she's very house-proud. In this state, if a tenant is late, you can give them a notice to vacate, but if they bring the rent up to date within 14 days, the notice is void. It's an important step because after issuing 3 notices, you can evict the tenants. Anyway, I was tasked with driving the hour trip to issue the first notice. I did it, as I had the time, and I wanted to also let them know that it wasn't an eviction notice, and to explain that it was null and void, so long as they paid their rent. I get to the property, and see what mom had mentioned about the property being tatty. See their mastiff dog tearing around the yard with their kids' toys and SH everywhere. I start thinking that this isn't a nice family. This is gutter trash. I go through the gate, ignoring the mastiff, as I'm about 6'2", 100 plus kilograms, and nudge the jumping dog out of the way, knock on the door and await the answer. I nearly SH myself when the guy opens the door and is about 6'8" and built like a brick SH house. I explain that I'm the landlord's son, that I was there about the rent, and nicely explain that they just need to bring it up to date, and if they do, the letter doesn't mean anything. He then opens the letter and loses his SH, and basically tells me to F off. Anyway, they bring rent up to date, buying themselves some time, and then stop paying. Second time I go down with another notice and they're gone, which wouldn't have been a bad result, but I see the state of the property and realize that these aren't just gutter trash, they're proper SHCs. Dirty mattresses outside, an old couch their dog's been sleeping on, broken toys and gear outside, garbage inside and out, broken furniture inside, and one of the worst, the dog's been inside the house, torn carpet, SH stains, filth. Anyhow, they're gone, and my parents and I start the process of many weekends of work to get the place suitable for human occupation. In addition to starting the small claims court process, Dad got a summons, but it has to be served, lodging the matter with a collections agency. I'm determined to find these SHCs. He's been fired from his job, but I didn't find her Facebook profile, so I know it'll only be a matter of time. A week or so later, Mom spotted them in the local supermarket near home. A lead. This means that they're most likely in the local area. I spend a few hours driving around looking for their car, but to no avail. In the meantime, we're still cleaning up the property. All their SH has been dragged to the carport ready for disposal. Another week or so passes, then I hit gold. The stupid bee has posted on her public Facebook page that they're having a birthday party for their daughter, at their house, and their address. Not the revenge yet, but I go around to serve them the summons. Anxiety peaking, I knock on the door of their new house. The brick SH house opens the door to my SH eating grin. Took him a moment to realize who I was. He's only seen me the once. Before, with a look of shock, he tries to slam the door, but not before I yell that he's been served and throw the summons inside. Now, some revenge. All of their stinking, half-wet, moldy possessions are still at Mom and Dad's rental. Dad takes a day off work and hires a tipper truck, and we set about filling it. Can you see what's coming? It took a few good hours and really filled the truck, garbage and everything. Just on dark, we roll past their house, and happily they're home, as their car's in the narrow driveway. I open the gate on the back of the truck and remove the ropes and get back in to watch the fun. Dad starts to reverse, raising the tray as we go, timing it perfectly so as he makes the driveway it's about to fall. We're in the driveway and he dumps it, filling the driveway, blocking the car in, covering the front yard with all their SH. Hearing the noise, SHC comes running out of the house screaming, but we're on our way lowering the tray as we go, so effing happy. They're gonna have fun with everyone turning up for their kid's birthday the next day, especially as it'll take them hours to move the SH to even get their car out. Christ knows what their neighbors thought. Cheers! The last story is, make me work past the time the law says I can, I get the manager fired. This happened a few years ago when I was 15 and working at a popular fast food company. My state says minors cannot work past 10 p.m. Ignoring this law could get the company a fine. You also couldn't work more than 30 hours if you work part-time. My schedule was always 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. for 4 days a week. I might work a couple minutes over 10, but that wasn't a big deal. I would just be finishing taking an order. I had worked there for a good year. No bad reviews, always had smiles, rarely had a sick day and would often cover others, and I had gotten Employee of the Month twice. We were always short on people, so one day I was working and taking orders in drive-thru. About 9:30 p.m., the manager, female 37, had told me to stay late. OP, I'm gonna need you to stay late tonight. The person covering you doesn't come in till 2 a.m. OP, I can't because... we need you to. Coworker, she can't, she's a minor. Well, the person covering her shift doesn't show up until 2 a.m. OP will deal with it. I worked till 2 a.m., went to school with barely any sleep. I wake up at 6 a.m., as school started at 7. After this would happen every time I worked with this manager, which was 2 out of the 4 days I worked, and often would be days in a row. This was very much illegal. As I was working 38 hours, I legally couldn't work more than 30 as a part-time, and working past 10 p.m. I was receiving no breaks, as at my work if you work more than 5 hours, you get a 30-minute unpaid break. This happened for about a month. So I go into work again, and it's this manager again. 9:30 p.m. Manager tells me I have to stay again until 2 a.m. You're staying late again. OP, I can't. I have school tomorrow and I'm falling behind. I don't care. You need to work till 2 a.m. to have someone cover your shift. OP, I legally am not supposed to work past 10 p.m. But when you applied here, you agreed that if you needed to work extra, you would. OP, which general manager said I still would have to be off at 10 p.m. due to state labor laws. You agreed when you applied that you could work extra, so you're working extra. So I ended up working this shift, but I decided to report my company in corporate, as other managers didn't believe me when I first told them. I decided to email higher-ups, stating dates and times I worked, showed I was still a minor, worked more than 30 hours a week, and stated if the city found out, they would get a huge fine due to this. I also tagged my general manager as well. This immediately went into investigation. I was told I could have the next few days off at work. So when I came back in for my shift after my days off, I was taken into the office. Cast, CM, corporate manager, GM, general manager of my store. GM, please take a seat. We'd like to talk. I take a seat in the office and set my stuff next to me. CM, I'd like to say sorry on behalf of the company for your overtime. Legally, you're not allowed to work past 10 p.m., and manager neglected to follow the law. GM, manager's been fired for disobeying the law and possibly causing the store to lose a lot of money. We also found out she has done this to other people on nights you didn't work. CM, if it wasn't for your complaint, this would have gone much longer than it did. The meeting ended shortly after I signed some papers about my complaint, and how I'd get a raise, and how all my meals would now be free instead of half off. I quit shortly after, and last time I seen the manager was when I went to the grocery store when she was packing bags. Thank you for subscribing and likes. Have a good day.